Hello, and this morning we're on to Genesis 1:10 in Hebrew. Can you translate that? Here's my translation. And God called to the dry ground, land, and to the pool of the waters, he called seas, and God saw that good. Okay, so to go into a little bit more detail, let's do it again. And called God Vayikra Elohim Layabashah, to the dry ground. So we have to, that's the preposition la. There's the preposition la, to. Then patak doubling is all that's left of the word the. Hey patak doubling is the way you make the. But when there's a preposition, the hey gets squeezed out, and you end up with preposition patak doubling. So it is to the, and then Yabashah is the word for dry ground. And God called to the dry ground Eretz, land. He called the dry ground land. And Mikveh. Now, this is interesting to me that the word mikveh is the word used for baptismal pool in later Judaism. So you can still see the plural would be mikvaot. You can still see the ruins of mikvaot in the Holy Land today. Those are baptismal pools. Qumran had you went into the baptismal pool when you entered the community and came out into the community. So it was a kind of a way of ritual cleansing going into the camp, so to speak. So ula mikveh, and to pool. Now, the word of, where does the word of come from? So this is something we haven't seen before or not really, and that is what's called the construct. When a noun, so sometimes there are endings that tell you. Another way that you can tell is if the vowels are sucked, if the length of the vowels is sucked out. I don't actually see a real telltale sign here, except perhaps the seri hey. If it had been a segol hey, that I think, then it wouldn't have been construct. But another way to tell is when you have two nouns right after each other, and you kind of feel the of coming out of it. So to the pool of the waters, hamayim. Now, hey patak doubling is the word the. So you can see the on the front of mayim, word waters. There's a little bit of a word play here, I think. Kara is the plain old perfect. So this, with the yod on the front, it's imperfect. But when you put letters on the end of the verb, it tends to be perfect. So this is the plain old perfect of kara. He called. This is a true past tense because it has the converted imperfect on the front. Vav patak doubling. This is a true past tense. Kara here is simply the perfect tense, which I think is functioning the same way here. There's more than one way to skin a perfect or past tense. So hamayim kara yamim. Okay, so yam is the word for sea. Interesting. So there are very similar letters between hamayim and yamim. Hirik yod mem is a masculine plural ending. Waters, seas actually, yamim, seas. Hamayim kara yamim. Kind of see how many letters there are similar in these two words? Interesting. But they're two different words. Well, actually, again, one wonders, and I'm not an expert on Hebrew grammar or semantics, but one wonders if way back, again, this may be a stupid thought, way back in the history of the Hebrew language, Mayim, sea, Mayim, waters, and Yam, seas, had some similar history somewhere way back. I don't know. And to the pool of, and to the collection of the waters he called seas. Okay. And God saw Kitov, that it was good. Okay. So God is naming the various parts of the creation. He's ordering them. And as I've mentioned before, John Walton suggests that the word good in Genesis 1 means we're good, meaning that everything's working, that it's not a comment on morality or the moral quality. That sounds to me culturally appropriate. In retrospect, it does seem to me that probably Walton's right, that when we say everything was good and then it got messed up, we're probably imposing a little bit of ourselves on it, that it's probably more a matter of everything working correctly. Okay, so grammar. Um, okay. Um, the Vav Patak doubling suggests that this is a converted imperfect. There's nothing done to the stem, so it's just the ground stem, the call, QAL stem. Converted imperfect is a bad nomenclature, but it basically means it's a preterite. It's a true past tense. And he called. Third masculine singular. Sorry, my Greek always interferes here. Okay, so it's third masculine singular. I've already mentioned some of the grammar. Preposition the, Yabasha, la, mikveh, and that's construct. Kara, I mentioned. This is just a plain old, it's G because there's nothing done to the stem. So what are the other options? It's not hiphil, causative. It's not niphil, passive. It's none of those other stems. It's just a plain old base stem, call, or G, Grundstamm. Perfect, because now the perfect, so there are two basic tenses in Hebrew. The imperfect, which is what this is in form, and then the perfect, which tends to be completed action. And so, well, it's completed action, so it tends to be past tense also. It's another way often to do the preterite. And God called the Yamim. He called this the waters. He called seas. Okay. Again, I didn't do the parsing, but it's the same. Vav Patak doubling says it's a converted imperfect. Nothing done to the stem. It's a G, or call, converted imperfect. It's third masculine singular. It's from ra'ah, so it's a third hay. And as we've said before, in the converted imperfect, the third hay gets chopped off. Vayar, Elohim, Kitov. Okay, so the pronunciation of this is Vayikra Elohim la Yabesha Eretz Ula Mikveh Yamim Ula Mikveh Hamayim Kara Yamim Vayar Elohim Kitov. Okay, let me go through the letters. Vav Pataki, doubled yod, Hirik Kof. That's a silent schwa because it's in a closed syllable, so that it doesn't add any sound. It just says this syllable's closed. And then Resh, Kamatz, Aleph, Vayikra. Aleph, Katef Sagol. It's a very small Sagol. So the Sagol is a E sound, and then a Katef Sagol is a short E. It has a short mark over it in transliteration. Lamed, Holam, Hey, Hirkyod Mem. Hirkyod is a vowel combination. The yod is not functioning as a consonant, it's functioning as a piggyback for the I vowel. So this is transliterated as an I with a caret over the top, and a teeny tiny yod you can put there to say the yod is piggybacking. So it's Elohim. That's a masculine plural ending, im. We see it Yamim, masculine plural. We say masculine plural absolute because it's not in the construct state like this is. This is actually, I'm not sure whether it's feminine or masculine word, but it's a singular construct. pool of the waters. Lamed, patak, doubled yod, patak, doubled bait, because it's a short vowel. Patak is a short vowel. I know that this has to be a closed syllable, which means the bait has to be closing one syllable and beginning the next, which is what happens when it's doubled. Bait, kamatz, sheen, kamatz hay. That's also the hay is functioning as a piggyback for the long A vowel there. That's not a consonantal hay, it's a vowel hay. La yabishah. Eretz, aleph, segol, resh, segol, final sade. Sharuk, which again is it's a vowel. It's the vav is the piggyback for a u vowel. U. Lamed. This is a vocal shva because it's the beginning of a syllable. La. So it's you transliterate it as an upside down e. Hardly gets much sound at all. It's the smallest vowel sound in Hebrew. Mem, hirik, kof. That's a silent shva. This syllable is closed. So mik. It's a short syllable. Vav, seri hey. Seri hey is also a vowel combination. Mikveh. U la mikveh. Hey, patak doubling, the. Mem, patak, yod, hirik, mem, mayim. Ayim tends to be a two things, two waters. The word for waters tends to be a dual, which I think goes back to the world view of the early Semites as their waters up and their waters down, two waters, maybe. Kof kamatz, resh kamatz, aleph. It's quiescent aleph. It loses any sound. The aleph is a glottal stop. You constrict your mouth. Yod, patak, mem, doubled mem, hirik yod, final mem. Vav, patak doubling, doubled yod, patak, resh. And then the aleph doesn't get any sound, vayar. Elohim again, aleph, katef sagol, lamed, holim, hey, hirik yod, mem. Kaf, that's not a doubled kaf. You don't generally get a doubled letter at the beginning of a word. That's hardening the sound, although I pronounce all kafs the same. That's the standard practice in all the different pronunciations of kaf today is to just pronounce it as the same. Hirik yod, again, a vowel. Makef, which is just a dash. Tate, that's a saluk. It's just an accent mark, often on the final syllable. Holim vav, the vav is not a consonant here. It's a piggyback vowel for the vowel long O, and then bait. Vayikra Elohim la yabasha eretz ula mikveh hamayim kara yamim vayar Elohim kitov. And that's Genesis 1:10 in Hebrew.